TM Waters. Thoughts on Harrison Ford's quote regarding actors telling stories rather than trying to become stars. So he did an interview with GQ and he was asked this: "You're one of the last few people on earth who can be thought of as a genuine movie star. There's been a lot of talk lately about the death of the movie star and that there are no more being made. How true do you think that is?" So that's what Harrison Ford was asked, and he responded, "Oh, I think it's rubbish. I don't think the question is whether or not there are any movie stars. There's wonderful actors coming up every day. Whether or not they become movie stars is really not the point. If movies need stars, they will find them. I've never understood being a movie star. I'm an actor. I tell stories. I'm part of a group of people who work together, collaborate on telling stories. I'm an assistant storyteller. That's what I am." So the question is, what do I make of Harrison Ford's comments? And I think that Harrison Ford is an actor speaking of how he perceives of himself. I don't think what he's saying is actually engaging with the discussion being had about the death of movie stars. Harrison Ford says, "I'm an actor. I'm an assistant storyteller. I'm in the world of telling stories." That is 100% true, what he is saying. But when someone says the movie star has died, what they are referring to was an era of time where you had actors that were such big stars that they sold tickets just by putting their name on a movie. And so you would have huge movie stars that sold action movies, comedies, horror films, and the actor was the brand. You go see every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. You go see it because it's a Harrison Ford movie. You go see it because it's a Will Smith movie. You go see it because you love Jamie Lee Curtis, Sigourney Weaver. And the star sold the movie. Even into the zeros, it was kind of famous that Will Ferrell was such a brand, such a comedy star, that movies were being pitched as Will Ferrell as an ice skater, Will Ferrell as a basketball player. They just pitched the movie as, let's take Will Ferrell and throw him into these different genres, these different contexts. That was the whole pitch, because he was a star that sold tickets. And so the argument that has been going on for a number of years now is that we've moved past the era of movie stars, that movies, the actor, the star doesn't sell the movie anymore. The IP sells the movie. And I believe it was Quentin Tarantino said that Chris Evans is not the star of Captain America. Captain America is the star of Captain America. Maybe, is that overstated? Maybe a little bit. But is it true that movie stars, A-listers, do not sell movies like they used to? Absolutely. You go see, like, the movies that get greenlit are based on being remakes, sequels, adaptations. The IP is the star, not the actor. And even throwing Chris Hemsworth into Mad Max, a Mad Max movie without Mad Max, didn't do anything. Movie still just dead on arrival. And because Mad Max wasn't in a Mad Max movie. And you can kind of look at all of these Avengers stars that everybody knows their name, but they don't buy a ticket for their new movie unless there's something else about it, whether the property, a sequel, or just a great hook in the trailers or something like that. So a bunch of these actors that everybody knows their name, but they do not sell tickets the way that Harrison Ford in the 80s and 90s, Will Ferrell comedies in the zeros, Jim Carrey comedies in the zeros. I mean, it was like there's the way that now there's a week in July that's like Christopher Nolan week, that every 3 years you get a new Christopher Nolan week in late July. They did that with Will Smith in the 90s, that it was like 4th of July weekend, that they would put out a new Will Smith movie. And you'd go see all of them because it was a Will Smith movie. And he was the brand. You know he will deliver, and you want to see him in a bunch of new scenarios. And that's just not the way that people buy tickets anymore. People do not decide what movie to see based off of just the star anymore. There is an exception. People will click what to click on streaming based off who stars in it. They don't leave their house and buy a ticket for $15 to go see a movie with an actor anymore like they used to, because tickets too much, it's too inconvenient. But you'll see out of the blue some random movie from a movie star that came out several years ago, #1 on streaming, because people discovered that this random film with this actor was in it, just #1 on Netflix out of the blue. And then why on earth do these streaming services keep throwing money at movie stars? Because people still click when they don't have to pay money, when they don't have to leave their house or even their couch. They still click on movie stars. And that formula still works on streaming. Even I'm pretty sure that Harrison Ford is promoting a streaming TV show where he's giving this quote. And the show is just like the pitch of it. Harrison Ford's on a TV show. That's the big thing to know about it. And people will click on that. But they don't leave their house. And that's what we mean by the movie stars dying. So when he says, that's rubbish, we can always find people to star in movies. No. We say movie star sells tickets like you did, Harrison. I remember the late 90s. Oh, Harrison Ford's the president? Oh, man, of course I'm going to go see that. Harrison Ford's stranded on an island? Of course I'm going to go see that. Harrison Ford is married to Catwoman? Of course I'm going to go see that. And you just knew everything Harrison Ford was. You wanted to go see it. Because it's Harrison Ford. He's a movie star. Everything with Jim Carrey, you go see it. You know it'll be hilarious. People don't make decisions like that anymore. And that's like... He's talking about as a creative, as an actor, how does he perceive of his profession? He's not into he's a cranky old man. He's never seemed super duper into being a star. That's what we're talking about, the fame, what actually sells tickets versus him talking about storytelling. What he's saying is true in the bubble of the profession, but it's not interacting with the actual argument being had. I recently watched Wolves on Apple TV purely because it had Clooney and Pitt in it. They carried it. Exactly. That was the whole concept there. That you put those, the Ocean's 11 guys in a movie with kind of a cool genre and they're bantering, reminds people my age of Oceans. We're going to watch it. That's what I did. Like, as soon as I watched it that weekend, of course I want to check this out. I didn't have to leave my house. I could just sit on my couch and I watched it. And that works on streaming, but it doesn't get people to leave their house and buy a $15 ticket and a $10 bucket of popcorn. That's what we mean by the death of the movie star. And movies, who's the last movie star? Is it Tom Cruise? Well, even Fallout last year underperformed. Excuse me, that wasn't Fallout. Dead Reckoning, compared to Fallout, it dropped off. Tom Cruise at the peak of his stardom, the year after Top Gun Maverick. And Dead Reckoning was a weaker opening. Did dramatically weak, several $100 million less than the previous film, Fallout. Even Tom Cruise can't just carry things to bigger and bigger numbers. Stars don't sell movies like they used to anymore. And I think that's just a fact, and that's what they mean by the death of the movie star. It's funny. Said all this as soon as I finished saying all of that. Mikey goes, "What about Tom Cruise?" Like, you are thinking of the right person, but I guess you are tracking 30 seconds behind on the stream. But most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month for $2 per month, $20 per year. You can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams for $5 per month. You get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.